Hello, I'm Larry Pimentel, and I am delighted to be with you today. My involvement with the Travel Institute actually started in an interesting way. It was in a research library. My uncle was a research librarian, and I loved the notion of going into travel. I was a university student, and I had looked for how do you get educated? Were the universities teaching it? Was there some way that I could become the ultimate professional? And it's the first time that I'd actually read about something at the time that was called the Institute of Certified Travel Agents. And I investigated it, looked at it, and it was always in the back of my mind. So it started out initially as a fond thought of something I might want to do. Now, eventually, I did get in the travel industry, and I got into the tour operations side and the cruise side. And I found myself as the vendor serving retail travel agents, and I was captivated by trying to understand more about them. And that was my first step into the programming. And we actually, as a group in the day, we met every Thursday. We'd meet at 6 o'clock. We'd get done about 10. There were a volunteer individual who would guide us. We had textbooks that we'd go through. We would discuss the articles. We would apply those notions to the industry. And what I was most taken with, and I mean totally taken with, is I got much more out of it than I think they ever got out of me. What I got was the passion that these people had, not only about travel, but they were experts in their clients. And then when they had an expertise in a destination, let's say Africa, I was stunned not only at how much they knew, but how much they wanted to do for the client and the customer. That has stuck with me my entire career through being the CEO at a number of different companies. And that led me to, at the time, something called a certified travel consultant. There were CTAs, CTCs, and now, of course, CTIEs at the Travel Institute. But I was a vendor who led the way. So much so that I tried to convince many other vendors, and was successful in doing so, that says you need to be a CTC. You need to understand this audience. And there's nothing like sitting around a table and learning with them together. So it's not so much a story about a particular instance. It's a story about what I learned about passion, what I learned about the value of education, which was empowering. In fact, it created expertise through sharing, which I absolutely love because it led to something that I mostly am really fantastic in wanting to pursue, and that's creating professionalism in our industry always. And that's what the Travel Institute is about. It's a nonprofit that cares enough to create content to make you better at what you're doing. Boy, is that fantastic. The role of the retail travel industry has morphed. It's zigged and zagged. There are things that have occurred in economies, in the marketplace, in technology that have changed that role. I think I've read endless articles about the demise of the sector. That really is not accurate in any way, shape, or form. The travel agent has never been more valuable. And I say that, having all of us go through the pandemic, those people who had travel agents were amongst the luckiest people because they were helping them navigate very difficult scenarios. Travel agents who are trusted are travel agents who are trained. They are continuous learners. The Travel Institute could be a very big part of their life, or yours, if you're considering stepping up. Here's an organization that you have to consider started in 1964, and for God's sake, it's celebrating its 60th anniversary. That, to my way of thinking, is completely phenomenal. 60 years of saying, we want to help you be better. The content in destination training I love and still love and think of as fantastic. In fact, I've been in a number of companies where in order to have a certain position, you had to go through Travel Institute training. And I believe that that is something that should be considered by vendors and something that should be considered by agents who want to learn about a new destination so they too can become an expert at it. It all gets back to the same thing, being the best you can be. That's your responsibility. And the Institute has the content to help you. And this institute is here today, but this institute is going to be here 60 years from now because education is constantly changing, and it's changed the retailer, who they are, what they're about. Think of the use of technology. The technology, in some cases, that got in front of the advisor became transactional. In other words, you can go online and you transacted a ticket from point A to point B. Well, the fact of the matter is, consumers thought, well, I could become a travel agent. Well, there are people who, have a desire to learn and they want to do their own planning. But quite candidly, I recommend, without any doubt, a qualified travel professional. And when I see names at the end of a name, CTC, that says to me, somebody's gone further. It's like looking for an accountant. Well, yeah, I like a CPA at the end of the name. It says that person has gone to the next level. And the next level is all personal to me. Nobody needs to do anything. They do these things because they have passion about it. But if you're like me and you want to be the best at what you're doing, then the Travel Institute is not only a good place to start, it's a good place to continuously learn. And 6 decades of excellence is going to continue because it deserves to continue, because there are people who are passionate about supporting it. And so I think my particular point of view is the way to support it is you grow yourself. And by being involved, they keep on creating content that you need and that's useful. By being a part of the Institute, you're a part of a community, a very special community of people who care, want to better themselves, and want to have their clients have the best possible experience. The best piece of advice I could give anybody when they start their career is that life and careers are about continuous learning. There are going to be stops. There are going to be, starts. There are going to be disappointments. When you have challenges, you have to look at the challenge as an opportunity. When you fall, you get up, you move, you go towards your goal. And if you keep on doing that, it's just better.